AI, I feel like it's a hyperbole. Is there a little bit too much of hype? But then it catches up. I mean, 2 years ago we talked about ChatGPT and its massive influx in. Now we are talking about Agentic AI. And over the last 6-8 months, the amount of excitement I've seen, the amount of traction I've seen, especially in the supply side, is humongous. Just to kind of clarify what generative AI and AI, the distinction is generative AI is where you used to create something, it would be a word, it would be a code. On the right hand side, the agentic side, now we are talking about fundamentally AI getting into workflow fully and being able to run them. And that's a massive shift, both from a reasoning model point of view as also underlying technology in terms of just how we get the AI to work for us. And these are a few examples. I won't go through them, but fundamentally, the left hand side talks about what we could do in generative AI world, and agentic AI while not fully formed, what it can do. And hopefully within the next few months and quarters, we'll start doing this. So simple things like, I could get a dashboard, but now my agent could actually move inventory. I could get a customer care first response, or agent could actually anticipate and solve it. I could anticipate a cybersecurity attack and create a dashboard around it to somebody anticipating and moving things around. I mean, the overall potential of what AI can do is actually humongous. And this one, does seem like, obviously there's a hype, but there's a fair degree of reality input in this. So what is the overall opportunity? And I think our anticipation and sense when you do the maths around it is at least $1 trillion plus. And this is more based, so let me explain the maths here. There are 4 layers we talk about. The lowest layer is the hardware, and then you have the compute, the cloud, and then you have the compute, and then you have finally the application layer. And just taking the investments of the bottom layer and putting some numbers in terms of what the gross margin expectation of every layer would be, you could come up to almost $1 trillion. Huge number. Why? This is where the left-hand chart in the extreme left talks about where the current size of the overall software world is. It's $1 trillion right now. We anticipate in the next 2, 3, 4 years, a more $1 trillion will get added. That's massive. So the question is, does it pass the sniff test? And if you go and check with investors and you go and see the logic, the essential point is the TAM explodes. So one of the podcasts I was listening to, they said Salesforce, which is one of the largest CRM players, is $30 billion in a $120 billion market. The total sales and marketing budget, which is the personal budget, is $1 trillion plus. Now, there are second order implications, we'll talk about that in terms of what it means for human labor. But today, if you look at the vertical AI companies specifically, the TAM has exploded because you're not talking about software spends only, you're talking about software plus human, and therefore potentially much larger pie to take. And this is one of the examples it talks about, how a 120K software developer and how much of software SaaS company would take, which is 15%. But here you have 100% pipe, and that basically takes a huge market.